Well, good afternoon, students. Hope you're all okay. I'm actually recording this for the second time. I made 3 videos and uploaded them to YouTube already and discovered I'd forgotten to turn on the microphones. So I should be quite good at this by now because this is the second time I've done it. Okay. You've been working with the book, I hope. You should have done so far up to page 11 with this reading. And I should have sent you the keys to correct. Okay, if you haven't had time to do it, please try and catch up. Okay, I know it's strange times. Some of you have a lot of other homework and things to do, but if you can try to keep up, it'll be better. I'll try not to give you too much. The idea is to give you basically what we would be doing in our normal classes. Okay. Well, today we're going to move to this page, or this double page here in your books, okay? This will be pages 12 and 13. And we're going to work with something called compound words. That's the first lesson we're going to do. Let's imagine this is the first hour of the class. And then in the second part of the class, I will try and do this part here, okay? So we'll switch to one page on compound words, and this is what we're going to discuss. Okay, so what is a compound word? It's a word, well, it's actually 2 words that go together to form another word. In this case, we're really looking at using them as adjectives to make our writing more interesting, okay, and speaking. The topic has, we start with 3 questions here about your town, and the idea is you speak in pairs. Okay, well, maybe we can put you in pairs tomorrow when we do the speaking, and we can practice with that. Okay, so there are 3 questions. We're talking about landmarks in the questions. Remember that a landmark is something that identifies a place. A famous landmark in Paris, of course, would be the Eiffel Tower. I think you all know the famous landmark in London. Okay, but can you think of any famous landmarks in Salto? I mean, it has landmarks, but is there anything famous that everybody knows? Okay. I mean, the questions are, what attracts visitors to your town or city? I think you would probably answer with the hot springs or something like that. Describe a landmark in your city or country for someone who has never visited it. Okay, this could be Uruguay or even, sorry, Uruguay the country, or Salto the city. Okay, can you think of one? And are your city or town's landmarks well known to people who have never been there? Okay, I mean, we all know the ones in London and Paris, and in Cairo in Egypt, for example. But is there something world famous in Salto? Probably not. Okay, so this is what the article is about. It's about attracting people to your city using something called city brands. Okay, I'm going to read it through to you once. It's got a lot of interesting language in it that I'll come back to and highlight when we finish the lesson. Okay, there's a lot of advanced language here. City brands. Does your city have a famous landmark, a rich cultural tradition, or is it home to a major industry, a world-renowned hotel, or even a distinctive way of getting around, like London's black cabs or Amsterdam's barges? Perhaps it's a mecca for theatre-goers, musicians, or party animals. Or maybe it's just a nice place to be. Top brand cities seem to have it all. They boast lists as long as your arm of iconic buildings, museums, and galleries. They are also home to gourmet restaurants, glorious parks, purpose-built sports stadiums, and all sorts of places to see and be seen. For cities and towns less favorably endowed, the first step in establishing a brand is to identify assets and find a way of communicating these, usually by means of a logo and slogan. But getting the logo and slogan right is no mean feat. Under no circumstances should visitors be led to believe a city can promise something it cannot deliver. No one is impressed if a place calls itself sun-soaked, but is in fact wind-swept, wet and cold, or claims to never sleep when bylaws oblige all bars and restaurants to close by midnight. Okay, now that I am sure there are some new words there, some words you didn't really know. We'll go back to those words and expressions, as I say, when we finish the lesson. Okay, but the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is this: compound words. Well, this says look at the underlined compound words. Which words do not combine a noun and adjective? Well, I'm not going to go into all that, studying which one is a noun and which one is an adjective. I think it's enough to say is that we put two words together, and in some cases they become like an adjective. So instead of hotel, we can say world renowned. This means famous. Okay, we don't need to worry which one's a noun and which one's an adjective, etc., in my view. Okay, and what it tells us is that compound words are two or more words joined to form a new word. They can be written as one without a hyphen, e.g. keyboard, as two separate words, e.g. post office, or hyphenated, e.g. self-esteem. Compound adjectives, which we're interested in really, usually have a hyphen, e.g. world renowned, but if the compound begins with an adverb, the hyphen isn't necessary, e.g. this is an adverb, happily, remember adverbs with ly, happily married. Okay, we wouldn't put a hyphen here. Okay, so let's just go back to the text. Okay, landmark it's actually land and mark. You know, it's two nouns together, but they actually become what you call a compound noun. Okay, world renowned means it's famous all over the world. People that go to theatres are called theatre goers. Okay, top brand cities, purpose-built sports stadiums. Okay, I like these ones. Sun-soaked. Okay, somewhere that gets a lot of sun, or wind-swept. It's like it's been swept by the wind. Swept is the past of sweep. You sweep the floor with a brush when the floor is dirty. And if you can imagine a big brush sweeping across a city, and that's bringing the wind with it, your city would be wind swept. Okay, there are many cities that are famous for having a lot of wind. And by laws, these are the local laws from your, in this case, in your case, it would be the intendencia, the local laws. Okay. The thing to notice, let's not worry which ones are verbs, or well, there's no verbs actually, which ones are adjectives or nouns. Let's just see that it's two words together, and I think that's enough. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do, okay, is to look at these. These are compound adjectives: long-standing, run-down, cut price, drop-down, middle-aged, part-time. Okay, what I would like you to do is to look at these words on the right and try to match them. Okay, so for example, number one is long-standing. Do you think you could have a long-standing job? Maybe. Long-standing man? Airline tickets, menu, friendship, area. Okay, well, what the usual collocation here is a long-standing friendship. Okay, when you've been friends with somebody for a long time, it's a long-standing friendship. So I'm going to stop this particular video. We'll run to the next video on the playlist after this, and on that video I'll give you the answers. Okay, so take a moment to think about that and to do the exercise. Okay.